Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. We got some more Blood and Plunder for you today. We're continuing on reviewing the scenarios here, and today we're taking a look at Take and Hold, and this is another fun one here. So both the attacker and defender are attempting to control the battlefield by holding a crucial point, like a hill, beach, the sea itself, could be different things, right? So the land version of the game here, or this particular mission, the entire board is land. There is an area of elevated terrain, like a group of objects or a structure, somewhere in the center of the table, basically. So something unique and distinct to basically kind of represent what's going to be fought over here. So deployment-wise, the defending player chooses a board edge, the attacker takes the other. Before any units are placed, an objective marker is placed in the center of the board with, whatever terrain that was placed there during setup. Again, 6 turns as normal, and then here we can kind of see the layout for this. So attacker, defender, and then basically something dead center there. And so the attacker, defender, so at the end of turn 3 or later, a force gains a strike point if the enemy force has a unit that is not shaken within 4 of the objective marker, and that force has no units that are not shaken within 4 of the marker. So very similar to the other missions that have had objective markers before, except again, this is essentially capturing and holding the center objective. So naturally, most units are going to gravitate towards that, and there's going to be a lot of action here as you try to dislodge the enemy and keep them away from the objective, and they're basically doing the same to you. So the combat's going to get closer and more personal. There's going to be a lot of casualties. So it's partially also who can sort of time things correctly. Then start really inflicting casualties on the enemy, get them shaken, get them away from the objective, right? And as it says here, the scoring really doesn't start until turn 3, so you don't want to necessarily overexpose yourself until it, at all, but ideally, turn 3 or after turn 3 is really when things matter for scoring. So you don't want to maybe get yourself in a bad spot early on, and then let that lead to catastrophe or anything like that. So, but that being said, it probably pays to be aggressive and get into a good position where you can kind of control the action. And again, you don't need to control it for turns 1, 2, 1 and 2. So it's actually just at the end of turn 3, right? But use turn 1 and 2 to get yourself in a good spot, limit the enemy's approaches, maybe pick off some as they try and get close. Less skilled opponent might just rush towards it right away, and that's one tactic too. It's just sort of swarm it, and hope that the enemy can't dislodge it from you for subsequent turns. And that certainly can work, but I feel like you can use that if you're set up in the right way. You could sort of set the enemy up in a crossfire and get nice like enfilading fire and stuff like that. But it also pays to have a good sort of counterattacking force as well. So something certainly to consider. But fun little mission here again, and just kind of battling for the center. Now things change a little bit when we get to the other 2 versions here, the amphibious and the sea. So let's take a look, guys. So amphibious here. So one side of the board must have a landmass that takes up about 50% of the board area and includes the center point. Again, we'll see that in the diagram. The rest of the board will be navigable water, and again, determine if there's any other features. And then as normal here, as part of this mission, something in the center needs to be placed there. Deployment wise, so the defender sets up force on land, and then the attacker comes from the sea. Before any units are placed, again, put it in the center, the objective marker that is. Determine the wind direction randomly before ships are placed. And then defender and attacker set up their forces at least 20 inches away from the objective marker in the center. 6 turns as normal. And here again, same objective, although the turn limit is gone on this one, or the turn criteria that we saw previously is gone. So a force gains a strike point if the enemy has a unit that is not shaken within 4 of the objective marker, and that force has no units that are not shaken within 4 of the marker as well. So again, dead center is just here we have some water, and then defenders on land trying to reach again the center line here. So it could be something that's set up close to the shoreline, perhaps, and who knows what that could represent. But again, that's where some creativity comes in there. But still a fun mission, and certainly adds the tension there if the attacker has some trouble getting to the beach and getting off their boats, basically. So, but good stuff there. And then the sea version. So the whole board is deep water. Again, extra features, terrain features at player discretion. So the defender sets up within 12 of the board edge, facing in the wind direction. The attacker sets up the same way on the opposite edge, at least 24 from the diagram again, or sorry, from the defender. We'll see that in the diagram. 6 turns as normal, and then attacker defender. So ignore strike points for the scenario. The only way to win is to capture the enemy ship. So again, a little bit different. So here you can see how you're supposed to be set up. So, and basically, you guys are sailing kind of parallel, and then it's basically all about getting in there, getting in the action, and essentially just taking over the enemy ship. So really fun stuff there, and changing wind directions and stuff can certainly give one side a benefit or the other, and make things a little bit more tricky and interesting there. But again, being able to engage properly here and get the better of your enemy is always a key. So getting some good shots off, so cannons, other things like that, trying to set yourself up for as much success as possible, so that when you do finally board and take over the ship, you have things easier. But certainly different from the other two versions of this scenario here. So battle won't necessarily be in the exact center of the board. So this one would appear to be 4 feet wide, so it looks like maybe a 4x4, possibly a 4x6, depending on what you want to play, but could be fun depending on what forces are brought and all that stuff. So that, in a nutshell, guys, is Take and Hold. Let us know in the comments if you've played that scenario. Which version do you prefer? What kind of forces are involved, and sort of what your game plan is when you're building your force to play this kind of scenario. What successes have you had, and failures, and other things like that? Hit us up in the comments, guys. Hope you enjoyed hanging out with us. We appreciate you stopping by. Hit us up with a like and subscribe as well if you haven't already. That helps keep the channel growing, and we got some more Blood and Plunder content coming for you guys. Take care.